Hey there, Dave here. So last month I made a video all about the Apple Card and why I won't be using it. And in that video I talked about the 3 cards that I do use for cash back. I was blown away by how many comments I got on that video, how many questions. I'm doing my best to answer every single one, but wanted to make this video as a follow-up. And I was planning to make it all about the evils of annual fee credit cards. Then wouldn't you know it, my buddy Graham Stephan came out with his updated list of his favorite credit cards of all time. Now, first of all, I'm a big fan of Graham Stephan's channels. I think he's a brilliant guy. I generally agree with everything that he says, especially when it comes to smashing that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Like Graham, credit cards are a weird hobby of mine. And when it comes to credit cards, I think Graham Stephan is wrong. My favorite credit cards don't require any complicated redemption strategies, they just pay cash back, and they don't have annual fees. I think annual fees are terrible, especially when it comes to maximizing your rewards, especially for cash back. The annual fees on Graham's 5 favorite credit cards add up to a whopping $1,940 a year. That is shocking to me, especially for such an otherwise frugal guy. Graham, listen closely. That's enough to go to Starbucks every single day and order a grande iced coffee. Not just once per day, but twice per day. Now for him, he says the benefits are worth the annual fee because between credits for airline incidentals and airport lounge access, he gets $1,940 of value. Really? I've always found it hard to actually get much value from those incidental airline credits since they're typically only good for checked bag fees or sometimes an airline meal, which, let's be honest, if you're getting value out of a travel-focused credit card with a high annual fee, you're probably flying enough to already have status with those airlines and you're already getting all the free checked bags you can handle. And you're probably paying enough to sit at the front of the plane where they give you a meal for free too. But I get it. I've had my share of expensive, high-fee credit cards. I've gotten rid of all of them, all except for one, and I don't even use that one for purchases or points or cash back. Let me know in the comments if you want to know which high annual fee credit card I still have and why. The only cards I actually use are cards with no annual fee. Oh, and unlike I think everyone else on YouTube who talks about credit cards, I'm not promoting anything. I don't have any affiliate links. I don't make any money if you use the cards that I'm talking about. I make all of my money investing in startups and stocks, and if you're interested in that sort of thing, check out my other channel. It's called Dumb Money. I think you'll like it. I'm just here to tell you what I know. And another important disclaimer, when it comes to credit cards, always pay your balance in full. Card benefits are meaningless if you're paying any interest at all. I don't think anyone should ever buy things that they can't afford. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on the internet telling you what I do. And if you appreciate that, hit the like button. That tells YouTube that this video is useful and maybe they'll show it to some more people. First, a quick recap of the cards that I used. These are based on where I make most of my purchases, which I think is pretty typical for a lot of people. Most of my spending is at restaurants, on travel, buying stuff at Amazon, paying my bills, and buying whatever other random stuff I might need. And that's really it. So for me, that means Amazon purchases all go on my Amazon Prime Visa. This is from Chase, and they give you 5% cash back on all of your Amazon purchases when you're an Amazon Prime member. For dining, bars, food delivery, all of that sort of thing, 4% back from the Uber Visa card. This is from Barclays Bank, and I was really surprised at how many people didn't know about this card. I also use this card for travel. I get 3% back on pretty much all travel, and they have good travel benefits that are usually only found on cards that have a high annual fee. For everything else, the Citi Double Cash Card. It's double as good as anything else I could find. It pays 2% cash back, or even though I refuse to use the fancy titanium card from Apple because they only give you 1% cash back when you use the physical card, I have started using the Apple Card with Apple Pay because when you use Apple Pay in a store, you still get 2% back. And it's just fun to watch the card change colors. So basically these 2 cards for shopping, for bills, for parking, for my lawn service, groceries, gas, everything else. Now, if you do buy a lot of groceries or gas, there are specific cards that have better rewards in those categories. But for me, I don't drive that much and I barely ever eat at home, so 2% back is just fine. So now let's compare Graham's cards with mine. Let's start with Amazon purchases. You cannot beat 5% cash back on all Amazon purchases. There's no argument there. None of Graham's cards pay more than 1 point per dollar when he buys something on Amazon. It's a great card to have. I save it in my Amazon account. I don't bother carrying it. It's kind of a no-brainer. How about restaurants? Can you beat the 4% cash back that the Uber card gives you? When it comes to dining in restaurants, there are really 3 other cards to consider. Graham has 2 of them. The first is the American Express Gold Card, and then the Chase Sapphire Reserve Card. And another one that you guys suggested in the comments, the Capital One Saver Card. These all offer their best points or cash back in the restaurant category. Technically, everything I'm talking about is points. If the only thing you can redeem those points for is cash and it's redeemed on a penny a point basis, for simplicity's sake, I'm going to call that a percentage cash back. And for points cards, I'm going to call them points because that's exactly what they are. They're worth different amounts depending on how you redeem them. Now, both the American Express Gold Card and the Capital One Saver Card offer 4% or 4 times points in the restaurant category, and the Chase Sapphire Reserve Card is 3 times points, but you get a 50% bonus if you redeem them for travel on the Chase travel site, so technically that's 4.5 cents per dollar you spend. And this is where the annual fee really comes into play. With the Uber card, you're earning 4% cash back at restaurants from day one. The Saver Card has a $95 annual fee, and no, $95 doesn't sound like too much, but at 4% cash back, you don't even cover the annual fee until you've spent roughly $2,500 at restaurants. That's a lot. Uber would have already given me $100 by that point. Now, the American Express Gold Card has a $250 annual fee. So with Amex Gold, even if you value the points at 2 cents a point, you don't break even until you've spent over $3,000 at restaurants. And with the true cash exchange rates for points, you have to spend over $10,000 just to break even. The Chase Sapphire Reserve Card has a $450 annual fee, and even if you're able to get the full 4.5 cents per point by booking on the Chase travel site, you'll have to spend $10,000 at restaurants to cover the annual fee. By the way, redeeming for travel means you're not actually buying the travel, so you're not going to earn extra points when you book that way. But Chase does give you a full penny a point if you choose to redeem for cash, so that's good. That means the real cash back value on this card is 3% at restaurants. But 3% is not as good as 4%. Let's talk a little more about these points. American Express has membership rewards points, Chase has ultimate rewards points, Citibank has thank you points. I don't like points because they're confusing and they take work to maximize their value. For example, on the Points Guy website, they value the American Express membership rewards points at 1.9 cents per point. That's as of September 2019. Last month, they were worth 2 cents a point on that website. It changes all the time, and it's really an imaginary world where you're getting the best case scenario redeemed for travel after transferring through a partner site. If you want to see how confusing it actually is, just Google it. You'll find this article. But the reality is you can't actually redeem for cash like that. The cash value for Amex points is 0.6 cents per point. That makes your 4 times points at restaurants worth 2.4% cash back. And if you use the Amex travel website to book, you get a penny a point. Bottom line, points are confusing, they're complicated, and for me, a simple system that gives you the same, if not better results is the way to go. In summary, yes, the Saver Card has the same cash back, but a big $2,500 spending hurdle before you even cover the fee. And no, the Amex Gold Card does not come close to 4% cash back without a lot of maneuvering, and the Sapphire Reserve Card, even if you maximize your points, I did the math, a lot of math, that half-cent difference between 4 and 4.5 won't get you better returns than the Uber Visa card until you've spent $90,000 at restaurants. So bottom line, with any of these cards, the annual fees mean you'll never catch up with the cash back you'd earn by using a no annual fee credit card. So that's restaurants. How about travel? Like I said, I've been using the Uber card for travel, and nobody talks about this card, probably because it's not a part of the affiliate programs that pay websites and YouTubers to promote their cards. A few people have asked me if I could only have one card, which one would it be? And it really depends on your needs, but for me, that would be the Uber card. Now, there are tons of travel cards out there. Each has its own pros and cons. This is one area where if you put some effort in, you can beat my 3%. And if you have specific airlines or hotel brands that you get a lot of value from their points or their free nights or whatever, go for it. But if you're looking for something easy, you cannot beat the simplicity of 3% cash back with no annual fee. Graham's best cards for travel, his American Express Platinum, it gives him 5 times points on air and hotel. That's good, but for a simple cash redemption, that comes out to being the same 3%, but with a hefty $550 annual fee. His Chase Sapphire Reserve card gives 3 times points, which again equates to a cash redemption rate of 3%, but with a $450 annual fee. For what it's worth, his JP Morgan Reserve card earns the same points as his Chase Sapphire Reserve card, but with an even higher fee of $595 a year. Really, the only reason to have that card is to get 2.7 million views on YouTube. And there's a big catch when it comes to actually earning those points with either the Amex Platinum card or the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. And for me, this is really the worst part. With the Amex Platinum card, you only earn the 5 times points on hotels that you book with American Express Travel. Not direct with the hotel's website, not Expedia, not Airbnb. So for all of those, I'd still be using the Uber card. And for airfare, you do earn 5 times points if you book directly with the airline or on the Amex Travel website. But again, not on Expedia, not on any other booking site. I usually start my search for airfare on Google Flights. One time I saved nearly $10,000 on an international business ticket by using some random website called cheaprandomair.org. Not a real site, something like that. So again, for simplicity and avoiding fees and being able to book travel however I want, I think I'll just stick with the 3% cash back from the Uber card. I'll let you know if I ever change my mind about that. By the way, the Uber card does have travel benefits like trip cancellation insurance that pays $1,500 a person, baggage delay coverage that pays $100 a day for I think 3 days, and automatic car rental coverage. The Chase Sapphire card also has all of those, and they generally have a slightly higher limit on their claims. But surprisingly, the American Express Platinum card does not have trip cancellation or baggage delay coverage, but they do have car rental coverage. There are tons of cards out there, some with more travel benefits, higher limits on those benefits. I've done extensive research on travel and purchase protection. If you guys want to see a full breakdown on which cards have the best coverage, let me know in the comments. Finally, what about the everything else category? This very well could be your biggest category. Just about every card out there does either 1% or 1 point or 1.5% at the most. The Hilton branded American Express card says that they pay 3x points, but that's because Hilton's points are worthless, or at least worth less than a penny a point. Chase did have a card that paid 3% back for the first year, but they capped that at $20,000, and then they dropped you down to 1.5%. And they've also changed that first year offer. They don't do 3% anymore. Now it's a one-time $200 bonus. You have to spend $500 in 3 months to get the $200. The card I use, the City Double Cash card, is simply 2% cash back. And it's 2% on everything. No limits, no caps. It's the best I've been able to find in that everything else category anywhere. Well, that and my Apple Card when I'm using Apple Pay. I'm constantly reviewing credit card benefits, so if you find a better deal, please let me know in the comments. I will feature you prominently in the next video. And until that video, thank you guys so much for watching. I can't possibly end a video without telling you to smash something. But really, I would love to have you come watch the next video, so hit subscribe, like all the buttons, ring all the bells. I'll be looking for you in the comments. My name is Dave Hansen, and I'll see you next time.